There's a feeling at one stage he mightn't make it, but Steve Ganson, the head of referees, was quickly on the case. The match would have taken place anyway. I think Stuart Cummings or Steve Ganson might have been the men out in the middle had Robert Hicks not made it, though that's only a joke. Everyone talking about the fact that Sam Tompkins is missing and they believe that it might weaken Wigan. It's worth remembering that last year on Good Friday, the man who replaces him today, Morgan Escaray, won the Man of the Match award in the corresponding fixture. So doesn't look like they will be particularly weakened at all. Danny Richardson gets this game underway. Richardson getting his first taste of the derby. Look at the determination on the face of Ben Flower as he takes the first challenge. And look at the determination in those three chasers who bring him down. Thomas Lulawai gets the ball away to Sean O'Loughlin. Electric atmosphere here at the Totally Wicked Stadium.
Look at that face on the first carry from Ben Flower. He knows what he's going to be confronted with. If he's not on his game, he's going to get knocked backwards.
Here is Liam Farrell for the Wigan Warriors, trying to get them up to the halfway line on tackle number 4. 4 tackles called by referee Robert Hicks. Lulawai to George Williams. Williams pushes the ball in between Ben Barber and Regan Grace. Great kick. Barber has to run it out from his own in-goal area. Barber tasting the unique atmosphere as well here tonight on home territory.
Sure, Wigan will do an awful lot of work here on the back three for Saints. Regan Grace, Tommy Makins and Ben Barber, they'll slow the play down. If they control the speed of the play of the ball, the man who's behind it, they take away the majority of his game.
Well, Regan Grace dumped to the ground and his legs were off the floor as well. Look at this. Luckily they put him down and there was no damage done.
Well, who can forget Regan Grace in this fixture last year? Announced himself to the world of Super League. I expect a big game from the back three of Saints. Terry O'Connor's already identified it as a strong point. There was a kick early from Wigan on tackle 4 and it looks like they've identified it as well.
There's Richardson. Kick straight down the middle of the field. Morgan Escaray is underneath the kick and gives it then to Joe Burgess. Burgess is a man in fine form. 6 tries in just 3 appearances for the England international this year so far. Here now is Oliver Gildart, the reigning young player of the year. Will get to his feet, will play it. And it's Tom Davis who takes the ball away from dummy half. And we flew out of the line quickly, Luke Thompson to bring him down. This now is Lulawai. It's a good little run, a good scamper from dummy half. Now Sam Powell. Here's the skipper, Sean O'Loughlin. Payru is there. So too Wilkin. Big day for John Wilkin. 400th St Helens appearance. Won't want to lose. High kick from Powell. A tester for Grace off the shoulder of Grace. Knock on. First mistake from St Helens.
Well, it's just all about pressure, isn't it? Wigan got a couple of wins early on in the plays, and all of a sudden they didn't go wide. They stuck to the game plan. They went right up the gut to Saints, kicked the ball on the front foot, and put that man under an awful lot of pressure. He's a good player, Regan Grace. You can see that Mark Percival just trying to help his winger out, block Tom Davis, but the effort, the energy from the Warriors in the opening couple of minutes is there for all to see.
Regan Grace burst onto the scene last year in this fixture of Good Friday. All right, he played on the losing side. He scored a magical try and he's never been shifted out of the first team since. First scrum of the match. Wigan's head and feet, 10 metres out from the Saints line. What tricks do they have in the box? Here is Williams. Lays the pass off to Liam Farrell. Payru in very quickly again. Once more with Wilkin. That's Lulawai. Ben Flower loses possession in the challenge. Referee's given a penalty. It was stolen, he says.
I think it's Dominic Payru, Eddie. He comes over the top. He gets his hand involved around where the ball is. Does he make a play for it? Ben Flower, he goes through, and because there's arms around it, we've seen so many times that penalties have been awarded. If there's anywhere, if your arms are around the man who's carrying the ball, he loses possession. And Robert Hicks, well, that's the reason why the penalty was awarded.
It's back in fashion, isn't it, going for goal? As soon as they get anywhere near their opposing line, there's the penalty, no doubt about that penalty, but Wigan choosing to take the 2 on offer.
It's worth pointing out as well, Eddie, losing Sam Tompkins, they lose their #1 choice goal kicker for season 2018, and he has been kicking well. It's been a problem area for Wigan, converting tries and attempting to kick penalties that aren't easy to get. This is pretty much a gimme for Morgan Escaray, but it'll be interesting to see with tougher kicks today how he aims up.
Morgan Escaray, St Helens supporters facing him, and Morgan Escaray hits the mark and Wigan lead by 2 points to 0. Yes, it's been a feature of 2018. The teams, certainly in the big matches and some of them in the not so big matches, they take the 2 on offer.
Easy points for Wigan. It came off the back of good game plan from Sean Wayne's side. They're kicking to Regan Grace. They're going to put him under pressure and not give him that space he was afforded this time last year.
Oh, it's a wicked kick-off. Wigan were not waiting for that, and Justin Holbrook, the Saints coach, applauds, and Danny Richardson, he found the gap.
Well, he's been a star of Saints this year, hasn't he? And when that ball's kicked, it's kicked into perfect position. Morgan Escaray wasn't there. Sam Powell, he let the ball bounce, and Tony Clubb at the back, well, he was just looking for someone to catch the ball for him.
To be fair, Richardson didn't have to look very hard for the gap. It was massive. Barber is underneath the goal line dropout. Luke Thompson will cart it back on the first challenge. Full-blooded start, you would expect nothing else.
You want big, strong carries from that man. Missing Alex Walmsley, followed by Kyle Amo. Different plays. Kyle Amo's got late shuffle at the line, whereas Thompson's direct.
This is Richardson again. He's found Barber. Then Barber is pulled down by George Williams, just 12 metres out. Ryan Morgan dummy half to Richardson. This now Roby again. Back on the diagonal run comes Wilkin. A penalty though to Wigan for obstruction.
Well, Tony Clubb's turning around.
Oh no,
he makes 6 metres.
Is it a penalty to Wigan? He has given it. Yes, he has.
Yes, obstruction. Tony Clubb turned around to Robert Hicks straight away and said there was obstruction here. You can just see that he runs behind Thompson.
That's a soft penalty.
Well, he's standing in the defensive line, and we've seen it so many times with tries being scored. He was tackled immediately, so he might have had a chance of playing on with that.
Well, it's just because Liam Farrell actually lent his weight. He pushed into Thompson, and that's the reason why the referee awarded the penalty.
Wigan won't be complaining. They're back in possession. They've won the last 8 Good Friday meetings with the Saints. The last defeat on a Good Friday 2009. And it was on their own ground, the DW Stadium. They lost by 12 points to 19. So quite a record for Wigan to uphold here today. O'Loughlin to Williams, finds Farrell. Good tackle by Richardson.
I'm sure they'll look at getting young Danny Richardson and say he's been a star this year for Saints. He's playing in his first derby. He won't have experienced a game of this pace.
O'Loughlin has played in many of them. Williams stabs the kick down the line looking for Burgess, but Richardson to the rescue. Yeah, Richardson, one of the bright young things in Super League. There's quite a few of them this year. Saints get their first penalty. And you would think that Richardson, at the moment, must be one of the contenders for the Young Player of the Year. But as I say, there are some cracking youngsters knocking about this year.
Most definitely there is. In a number of teams. Richardson, who's on show today, we had last year's Young Player of the Year in Oliver Gildart. I think he missed a lot of games. Look at this for a poor kick. Well,
you talk him up and he does that, Richardson. He doesn't find touch.
You can't do that in big games. That's gifting the opposition valuable metres.
This is Tony Clubb now for the Wigan Warriors. 20th consecutive appearance, his 250th of his career at Huddersfield last week. And Escaray in at dummy half. In amongst the action right away, the full-back. Just tuning in, Sam Tompkins out today with a virus. Escaray filling in. This is Powell. Now it's O'Loughlin. This is Williams. Williams gets the ball away to O'Loughlin. He dumps it down. It's brilliantly picked up by Powell. Powell then gives it with to Willie Isa. This now John Bateman. Bateman met by Wilkin, bounces off him. Percival comes in and finishes the job off.
Did some good work by the 2 loose forwards earlier. John Wilkin and Sean O'Loughlin, with and without the ball, getting stuck in.
Kick on the last. Finding Tommy Makinson. Looking for Burgess. Makinson climbed above him.
Oh, he's good in the early. Joe, like the kick is absolutely brilliant. It's on point, but he catches that ball perfectly. Look at this. You can't give away that possession. When you've been under trouble and you get the penalty, you can't just give the opposition 30 or 40 metres.
Great challenge by Isa on Makinson. Here's Johnny Lomax. Almost gets the pass away, and that's Zeb Taylor. Arrived last March, Joe Greenwood went off to the Gold Coast. People questioned the move, but boy, has Zeb Taylor stood up to the mark. This is his 38th consecutive appearance since. Roby spins the ball to Wilkin. Better kick from Richardson, but it's up in the air, and Burgess is underneath it. Bright orange boots.
He didn't get the distance on that kick then, Eddie. It was too easy for Joe Burgess. Nobody in front of him. He was able to run onto the ball, punch it safely, and then straight into attack mode.
Luluai, club, takes it forward into the chest of Kyle Amor, who has unhappy memories of this match last year. Sent off for a high challenge on Liam Marshall after just 13 minutes. Escaré. It's a lovely run down the right-hand side from the Frenchman. Pulled down by Lomax in the end. 5 metres away, 4 tackles gone. This is Bateman. Bateman with 14 on his back, made his name as a second rower, but of course internationally in the centres and for Wigan as well this year. This is Powell, now it's Williams, stabbed it in behind, looking for Gildart. Burgess is there, the ball has beaten everybody.
Time off. Mate, this is the last tackle. I have got no try. Can you just please check the grounding of the ball and the dead ball line, please?
Well, it looked for all the world that it had beaten everybody, Stuart.
Well, it looked
this is
that way.
safety first from Robert Hicks.
Yeah, it looked that way. He was on the dead ball line. They're all onside from the kick. So he must have some doubts somewhere along the line. Or is it just safety first? Certainly all onside on the left-hand side from the kick. Anybody who competes for the ball. And there's no foul play there. They're all just competing for the ball. Last touch by St Helens, which might be significant as we played through. Now here we go for the grounding. Does he get it down in time? Well, the ball's touched the line anyway, so we would say that the last touch has come off St Helens, so the restart will be a goal line dropout.
The third occasion Wigan had just gabbed that ball 10 metres behind the defensive line.
Time back on. No try.
No try.
Wait for me.
20-metre restart.
Wait for me. No, he grounded it on
He
the
doesn't
line,
think,
mate.
obviously, that Makinson got a fingertip to that. Neither does Ben Thaler, the video referee.
Okay, James, hold.
And just going back to George Williams, he's done it every time. He's looked to just place it behind. Knows that Saints get up quick. He knows they try and cut your attacking shapes down.
Let's hold this, mate.
Thompson
Move then, back
can't
with
get
me.
away from those two.
Hold
The
up.
tackling is ferocious, as you would expect in a Wigan Saints-Wigan derby. Ben Barber now.
Penalty, no
Penalty.
There's a
advantage.
late challenge here from Tony Clubb.
Calm down.
Straight away into John Wilkin.
Yeah.
Wigan,
Time
whenever
off.
the ball goes away from the ruck, they
Time.
like to
Come
put
here.
pressure from the inside, force you to play.
No, listen, hang on.
So John Wilkin, I mentioned John Wilkin. He's been doing some work from first
What is
man.
this? When you're on
Here
a
it is, takes it
semi-break,
to the line, and
the
Tony
worst thing
Clubb
that
follows
I'm
through.
here is I'm here and you're under the post. So let's stay nice and calm. Penalty here, late shot, Tony Clubb. Late. Onside. Back on.
Late tackle on John Wilkin. Wigan
Middle
crowd
line.
cheer because St Helens found touch with the penalty.
They'll cheer for anything if it goes against Wigan, Eddie.
No, the
Don't you
Wigan
worry.
crowd cheered Saints for finding touch. This is Richardson.
Sarcasm.
Good word, Barry, you're spot on. Huddersfield lead the champions 12-6.
Get square. Hold
Without
down this
a
time.
coach, of
Hold.
course,
Go.
and witness a 10 up at Warrington. To some people would say surprising scorelines early. Here it's 2-0 Wigan, and Richardson, little hop, skip and a jump in front of the challenge that came in from Sean O'Loughlin.
Hold. Go.
Roby, Lomax, Barber. They're watching Ben Barber like a hawk. Gildart on him the moment he receives that ball.
Great spot is the big indicator, isn't he? Out the back for Saints.
Go.
He's hurt as well as Barber, getting up slowly. Oh, little dab down the line from Dominique Peyrou, and brilliantly picked up.
Well, Eddie, there was some pace on that ball. Wigan trapped in the corner here. Look at this kick. He did well to get that. He was under some pressure as well, Burgess.
Send Burgess to Christchurch. England need a slip fielder.
These are lonely carries here, Eddie, let me tell you. Said before the game, you don't want to make mistakes, you want to turn up for your teammates, but you're looking at that white wall in front of you, knowing that it's going to be an aggressive line speed, trying to put pressure on you, trying to really hurt you every time you carry that ball.
Ben Flower charging it forward. That's Lulawai. Here is Powell.
Listen to what I say as well, mate.
Barber under it and says, go on. Makinson, you have a go. And Makinson will.
He runs the ball back stronger than most, Tommy Makinson.
Penalty here. Willie Isa seems bemused.
Willie Isa is faced with said player, ends up around his neck.
It's a flop from Sam Powell, isn't it? He loses the tackle, the tackle's completed. Willie Isa's in control, and it's for that effort.
Much as I'm a fan of Adam Swift as a winger, I think that's why Ryan Morgan gets a place in the side, so you can free Tommy Makinson up to go and play in the backfield, to go and return the ball and be one of a very devastating back three. I think he's better at that than Adam Swift.
I agree, Brian.
And I think that's the decision and the thinking process behind Holbrook bringing Morgan back in.
Aymor and O'Loughlin tangled up. Dom Peru. 14 minutes gone, just the one penalty from Morgan Escaray separating the two sides as Luke Thompson takes it forward again. That's Wilkin. Richardson, short ball, Zeptea out the back, finds Barber. This is Roby. Roby grounded 5 meters away. Wilkin. Lomax. And Flower saw to it he was going nowhere. Thompson, Wilkin, left-footed kick out to the far side, looking for Regan Grace. What can they do here? They're still running it on the last. Big hit on Aymor, still Lomax. Kick them for Makinson, coming in behind Burgess. Almost got to it. Knock on, says the referee. So it's the turnover.
Knock on from centre. Do you know what? There's a number of Saints players who've got a lot of attributes. John Wilkin, for me, over on the left-hand side, he's nice and direct when he goes onto the ball. Straight, hard, fast, delivers a pass, which is perfect. And obviously a kicking game. Saints have got so many players that can pull something out of the bag when they're that early in the park.
Warrington on the board against Widnes. The Halliwell Jones Stadium, 10-4, the Vikings lead though still. This is O'Loughlin.
Offside, Mark Percival.
And they're offside. St Helens, Wigan penalty.
Penalising number 4, Mark Percival, then for being offside. Look at that, just not working with the referee. All the forwards in the middle of the park working very hard, trying to control the go forward from Wigan. And then when you're outside backs just a couple of metres in front, that's not good enough.
Next line.
Well, Saints still reeling from that news that Alex Walmsley is out for a long time with a neck injury, but they bounced back from their first defeat against Leeds to win last week against Hull Kingston Rovers by 30 points to 6. We wish Alex Walmsley well for his recuperation. It was a big miss for Saints. This is Lulawai, and it comes back to Williams. Roby and Wilkin, two old hands at this derby atmosphere. They bring him down. That's Lulawai. O'Loughlin. Powell had to stretch for that. Just lost the momentum. Zeptea was in very quickly. Willie Isa, 10 metres out, running straight. Wilkin's been doing a lot of defending early on in this game. Aymor finishing off the job. Lulawai, back it comes to Williams. Kick looking for Burgess again. Burgess got to it, knocked it on. Almost.
Well, it's a good battle over there, isn't it? On Saints' right-hand side. Joe Burgess against Tommy Makinson, both of them very good in the air. He's giving away some height advantage as well, Tommy Makinson, but he's up for every single challenge. The majority of times that Wigan get down near to Saints' line, if they get to the right-hand side of the post, they're looking for that shift to the left-hand side, targeting Makinson.
Ryan Morgan plays the ball to Roby. Here comes Wilkin.
Brilliant.
To Thompson. Great ball. Here comes Ben Barber. Oh, he scoused Morgan Escaray. What a try from one of the top players, not only in Super League but in the world. Outstanding St Helens try. The hands were quick and the full-back was even quicker. His 13th appearance for St Helens. Will it be a lucky 13? But he's given Saints the lead here this afternoon. That's one of the tries of the season.
Well, everyone talks about Ben Barber being the X factor around the world, and he certainly has got that. Here, Joe Burgess at one end, just loses possession. Saints get the ball. The play here from Wilkin to Thompson. Nice little interchange between the forwards. What about that step? The old see you later beats Morgan Escaray. He's lining up in the middle where John Wilkin is. Then all of a sudden he sees the shift out wide. He goes over trying to push him towards the sideline. He's facing, his hips are facing the touch, and that man, he is one of a kind.
All credit to John Wilkin. We've mentioned a few times John Wilkin's effort defensively and showing up for his teammates, as well as Sean O'Loughlin over for Wigan. But John Wilkin set that up. He ran at the first defender, the A defender, skipped out to the B defender, attracted that B defender in, and then the support runner in Thompson. He was through the gap. Wonderful try from St Helens.
Can Danny Richardson add the extras? You would think so. And that's exactly what he does. Well, we've just seen a wonderful moment from an Australian fullback, Ben Barber. Will he become as big a legend as Mal Meninga in this town? Mal Meninga sitting in the crowd today.
Well, I'll tell you what, Eddie, marvellous play from Wilkin, from Thompson and Ben Barber to support them. But you've got to put massive question marks against Morgan Escaray's defensive effort there. Shepherd showed Ben Barber one way. Morgan Escaray, almost unbelievably, has managed to engineer a situation where he can either push him towards the sideline or actually make a tackle. It is really poor defensive play from the fullback. Again, I'll say it again, Eddie, it's your #1 responsibility as a fullback, your defensive efforts.
Well, Morgan Escaray, just to give a little bit of defence, he's been on the bench all the way through this season so far. This is his first start at fullback. And until this morning, he didn't know he was going to be playing, but he was left floundering by Ben Barber. Richardson goes for a 40-20. Escaray moves across and cuts the kick out.
We've just seen a brilliant try, obviously, but you don't go away from the basics. When you're playing it in tough contests, you've got to finish your sets off well, kick it down into the corner, chase really hard, control the first few plays. And it just happens time after time after time, and you can't get fed up with it, Eddie.
Well, they've had some great Aussies here, haven't they? I'm thinking recently of the likes of Jamie Lyon when he won the Man of Steel. We all thought that that was the year of Jamie Lyon. Will 2018 become the year of Ben Barber? We'll have to wait and see.
Tell you what, Eddie, they get some criticism as well. Some of the overseas players, if they come and they're on big money, they don't deliver. The ones you've mentioned certainly have.
Makinson, he took that ball very well and really made some progress. He was standing the other side of the whitewash. He didn't take it cleanly in goal. That's why the referee allowed him to come.
Let me tell you, Eddie, there'd been some uncertainty. There's the great Mal Meninga, one of the all-time best Mal Meninga. I'm sure he'll be enjoying what he's watching from a St Helens perspective, but he'll also appreciate Tommy Makinson's efforts. There was some indecision. He didn't wait, he didn't look around, he just dropped the hammer and pressed the accelerator. That's what I like about Tommy Makinson.
Roby loves these occasions. Brought down by Luluai. Here's Barber again, finds Lomax. Wide they go to Zeb Taya. Taya holding on to the ball, didn't give it to Percival.
It looked a bit too early, that pass. Over on the left side from Saints. Player with the ball, 3 players outside, and Zeb Taya had a very early pass.
Caught on the last, so that was the turnover. And Davis taking it up for Wigan. Now it's Bateman.
2, move and hold up.
Sam Powell to Isa again. Midway inside their own half, Chuluma Tautai with a little fumble. Escaray Spun to the ground by Ryan Morgan. Away goes Gildart. Gives it then to Burgess. And Richardson deals with the threat. Williams all along the ground. The bobble bounce its way just beyond Barber. Here comes Regan Grace.
Seems a bit of a laboured chase from Wigan. There was no one really with the foot to the floor trying to get down there. And we talked about how good their back three are. If you don't try and stop them early on, it's going to be difficult to win the next few plays.
I agree, Tez, but it's fair to say, I've just looked at the clock now, 22 minutes have absolutely flown by. It's been to and fro. It's been like a game of ping pong, and both sides really testing and challenging. Great ball again. That's from Wilkin.
The little plays between the forwards.
Two, Ryan. One down there.
Seventh penalty of the match.
And you're right, that little simple pass ends up being a legs tackler to the support player. And Luke Douglas hurries, hastily tries to play the ball and forces the whistle of the referee.
Luke Thompson takes a breather. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook comes on. First touch for Douglas as well. This is Roby behind him. There's Richardson, Wilkin, Peyrou. Dominic Peyrou has done well for Saints this year in his third season. He really has established himself in the side now. Here's LMS. Roby, Wilkin, loose to Richardson, off the ground to Barber, stabs the kick in to the in-goal area and just a little bit too long.
Well, that's where their strike is, isn't it? With Barber, Percival, Regan Grace, Escaré with a quick tap here. A couple of Saints players out back. One man who is back, though, is the man you talked about in the previous set, Dominic Peyrou, and I agree with you. Since he's moved into the back row, he's been very good. Struggled in the centre in the first couple of years, but I think he's found his home in the forwards.
Hold, go on. Two, move now. Hold me.
Joel Tompkins. To Luma Tautai, lovely ball back on the inside. It was watched every inch of the way by Roby. Bateman lost the ball. Ferocious St Helens challenge.
Percival over the top. I mean, watch Mark Percival in games on Sky Sports. He does like to wedge in, and when he wedges in and he makes his decision to hit you, he's going to hurt you as well. John Bateman looking to offload this ball. As he sees Percival in his eye line, he's got numbers outside. He has got a 2-on-1 if it goes there. Here's the ball that Barry refers to as forward from Tautai to Williams. I think that's okay, that.
Let's not push forward when we've surrendered. Let's just stand where we are. Stand where we get tackled. Don't push forward. And
silence is golden.
They see you bang, mate. That's it. They see you two bang with him.
I thought it was forward.
You thought it wasn't a sending off?
I thought it was a red card. I'm having a great day.
The ball, please.
It's like being at home and constantly wrong.
Join the club, Barry. Join the club.
The penalty here, Eddie. The ball was stripped from Mark Percival. So they've just lost possession. They're doubling up their errors here now. Well, the ball definitely does spew out backwards. And the referee, Robert Hicks, says, yeah, there was a hand in.
Half-time there at Huddersfield, 14-6 to the Giants. First game without Rick Stone, Chris Thorman in charge.
Oh, Joel Tompkins into LMS there. Have a little look at this.
He led, when he carries the ball, LMS, led with his buffers. He caught Joel Tompkins somewhere he didn't like, and then watched the meeting of minds after that.
There's some sledging in there, Eddie. That battle is not finished yet. When he carries this ball, look, he stands his ground, plants his feet.
Over the line.
Tries to get his head in close. LMS, his manhandle turned over. That battle's not finished yet.
Richardson, here's Luke Douglas. Coming off the bench for the 6th game in a row, the Scottish international. Richardson again lays the pass off. Zeptea takes it forward once more. 12 metres out. Roby to McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Surrender! Stand! Hold, Joel.
Coming right here.
Roby comes right to Richardson. The right to Barber. Barber loses the ball.
He makes a mistake anyway. What about the footwork from him? He spots Gildart, wedges in on him. All of a sudden he spots it, knows that there's space outside, he changes direction. Have a little look at this, the little skip. Gildart plants his feet, but he's rescued by Burgess. Could have been in trouble then. Again, he's just a natural athlete, isn't he, when he gets the ball?
We just need to just start responding well. We've had a dangerous throw.
Well, he first turned up on these shores, didn't he, at the Magic Weekend last year, and we all were speculating where was he going. And he ended up at St Helens.
He was sat with every CEO at Magic Weekend, wasn't he?
Yes.
I think everyone wanted to sign him.
I mean, they did very well to get him. They had to pay a lot of money, and they were pushed very, very hard, I believe, by the Warrington Wolves. But Eamon McManus and St Helens put together a package attractive enough to get Ben Barber. And he is, Eddie, a man that will bring extra people into this stadium.
This is worth coming to see. Well, any game in Super League is worth coming to see, whether it rains or shines. We proved that last night. Wakefield and Castleford, a battle royal in the mud.
Especially these Easter weekends, Eddie. The players love them, the fans love them.
It's carried on today with Hull KR and Hull FC. And here we are now at the Totally Wicked Stadium, St Helens against Wigan and Joel Tompkins. Easter just wouldn't be Easter without these matches, would it?
No.
Williams to Farrell. Farrell, great run. Gildart. This is Williams. Buys the pass to Joel Tompkins. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook and Joel Tompkins never too far away from each other. Lulawai, Williams again, back he comes to Escarate, skips away, he thought, from Ryan Morgan. Morgan had hold of his shirt tail. Lulawai and Williams, high kick to the right-hand side. Trained by Percival brilliantly. He's lost it though. Oh no, he hasn't lost it, it was touched by Wigan, play on.
Well, John Bateman still trying to wrestle the ball away from Regan Grace here.
Looked to me like it went forward, man. I'll defer to the referee on the field.
Great take from Percival here, wasn't it?
Hit by Sam Powell.
Sam Powell, yeah. Percival again. Zeptea again. Half-time at Warrington, Widnes with their noses in front, 12-10. Here goes Lomax. Gets the ball away to Percival. Percival has support inside him. It was slightly behind Morgan Knowles. Last one for Saints. They're lined up down the right-hand side. Ryan Morgan's asked for it to go high. It goes high. Claimed by Gildart. Goal line dropout.
Saints are really good when they get you on the short side. They react to different opportunities, different situations. There's a good take here from Oliver Gildart. But when they go,
Ryan Morgan, look at this. Look at that with Williams. Stuart.
Well, it's a clear obstruction, isn't it, coming in? Not being picked up by the officials.
well, you've seen them penalised, haven't you, in Wigan? Get away with it. But over on the left-hand side, they're very good. Wigan were backing off. They opened up the gate. Then all of a sudden, Saints couldn't react to the opportunity what was in front of them. And I think if they carry on down the touchline, they score the try.
Goal line dropout then for Wigan. 74 previous Super League encounters. Wigan 36 wins, St Helens 34. There have been 4 draws. In other words, never much between these two sides. Escarade's goal line dropout gets over the halfway line. Barber gives it then to Douglas.
The big set, Eddie. St Helens are just beginning to poke their noses through the line here at Wigan. Plenty of opportunity down near the line. You can sense that there may be a score coming.
Never gives it up, Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. This is Roby. To the left-hand side he goes with Morgan Knowles. Great tackle by Sam Powell on Richardson.
Good spot, wasn't it? He come in and jammed that play straight away.
Knowles again. Back in the side after suspension recently, 4-match ban. Came back against Hull KR last week. Here's Roby. It's Richardson. Barber. We can watch him very closely now after that try of his. It's Richardson. A kick again, looking for Morgan, looking for Makinson. Finding Ryan Morgan, but I think Joe Burgess has pinched it.
Well, some outstanding work from young Danny Richardson, playing in his first derby match. He's beginning to command the ball. He's pushing and prodding all his team. He was involved in 3 of the 6 plays, whether it was passing or kicking or running.
But Wigan had an answer to the ball, Barry. That was a great defensive set.
The more
for
involvements
the
he will get. I like to see a half-back with the confidence. He's a young player. He's very much in the realms of discovery whenever he plays in an atmosphere like this. But it doesn't burden him. He doesn't shy away from it. He rises to the challenge.
He has been impressive so far. Powell hoists the ball high. Barber's waiting for it. And Wigan just jogging forward, making some time to pick up pace, but they waited for him. And Williams and Liam Farrell make sure he goes no further. Morgan again. Morgan's missed the last 6, concussed in the first round against Castleford. What a game to come back in. Peyru. Thought about the offload to Barber. If he got that away, that would have been interesting.
They are, and every time that they're going into contact, they're looking for an offload, they're turning round, seeing who's with them. LMS the same here.
Back to Barber. Lulawai gets to him, but I think Barber's picked up a knock here.
Let go of the ball, Ben.
Well, Barber wants some treatment quickly.
It's an offload from LMS. Untidy one, scruffy one. Has to...
Just winded, I think.
Maybe a little lower than that.
Wind taken out of his sails, anyway.
Well, I'd go with that comment, Eddie, most definitely.
That's what you need to worry about.
I think Thomas Lulawai has just tried to hit him with everything, knows that he's a dangerous player.
That's where you hide the sandpaper down there.
Wait. Okay, mate, 4, go.
This is Roby. Here comes Luke Douglas. Over halfway Saints, but on the last tackle. Lomax. Escaré is coming across to claim this and does, but a great run and chase by Percival, helped out also by Zebtea.
Work really hard, don't they, from the marker position. In the opposition's 20, they like to help out the tight 3 defenders either side of the ruck, get numbers in, really slow the player down.
Joel Tompkins, George Williams, Gildart. Oh, good job that Richardson got to him, collared him, scragged him to the floor. On halfway, Burgess gives it to Farrell. Last tackle now for Wigan. Just 10 metres inside the Saints' half. Finds its way to Josh Woods. Barber underneath the kick.
With Josh Wood on now, Eddie, I'm sure that you'll see Sam Powell move into the hooking position, move more centre field.
Here goes Regan Grace.
Yeah, he catches one, Regan Grace. Late footwork. He's got a lovely balance, Regan Grace.
Yeah, 1 second.
And when he skips from one side to the other, from one shoulder to the other, George Williams hits him flush in the face.
Name, please. George.
The referee wants a word with George Williams.
Okay, just let me wait for him. Yeah. I'll deal with him first, then you. George, you've made contact with the head. That's what the penalty's for, okay? That's all I need you for. You need to be much more careful with your tackles. Mate, I know you think the penalty counts miles away from you.
Yeah, but it
you
is.
have given 4 away in about 9 minutes as a team.
Yeah.
But in that 4, we've had a ball steal, we've had a high tackle and a dangerous tackle. They are non-negotiable penalties.
Yeah.
You have to be cleaner in that area of the field.
So I don't know, I've tackled personally. The ball's come out of contact, what we're doing.
That was a knock-on. That's my decision.
Robert Hicks laying the law down to Sam Powell and also George Williams.
He's handled that well, hasn't he? Just took the sting out of the game, and the deception from Regan Grace gets them a penalty.
Hold up.
When he goes at the line, he terrifies you if you're a bigger defender.
The eternal battle, Eddie, isn't it, between players and referees? Stop penalising us. Stop giving me a reason to penalise you.
Go. Stand.
I think players get frustrated when they don't know what's going on and what things are for. I think Robert Hicks did a really good job of explaining his decisions.
Barry, you've made a lifetime living out of that.
You get frustrated when they get caught.
Here is Regan Grace. No man not knowing what's going on. 10 metres out from the line. Saints. Roby gives a short pass. They're over, but has he got this ball down? It's Zebtea, I think, underneath all of that. And Robert Hicks will hand this upstairs to Ben Thaler. Best of luck, Ben.
And it's Josh Woods underneath him as well.
They have a try on the field. That's important.
Knock on into the Wigan man and the grounding, please.
Couple of things then, Stuart, for Ben Thaler to check on.
Well, like we saw last night, he just wants to make sure that that he has clean contact and possession of the ball. It doesn't go into a Wigan player, and it certainly looks like he's managed to keep possession there. Now, the next thing he needs to look at, does he get the ball on the ground? Some part of the ball has to touch the ground, and I think that will do it. That'll be confirmation of the try.
Well, it wasn't as difficult as we thought it was going to be. It's all crystal clear now. This is going to be another try to St Helens. Zebtea is going to get the nod. And yes, he does. Try for Saints right on the stroke of half-time, 5 minutes before the break.
Well, Zebtea does that well every single time he goes to contact. It's always a short pass. He's always the front door option. On that occasion, it's a short pass at the line. It's incredibly difficult to hold your nerve, not shut your eyes and wince a little bit, because he knows as soon as he catches it, he's going to get a clout. Keeps hold of the ball. Nice short pass over for Saints' try, to the delight of those fans.
Yes. Saw the decision come up on the big screen. He arrived last March, as I say. He got a try against Wigan last September in the Super 8s, and in the home win here against them in May. And Richardson has had the extras, and Saints have established a 12-2 lead as we approach half-time.
Well, James Roby's a player who averages 50 tackles a game, but when he gets out there, he's fixing Josh Woods. Josh Woods is looking at what James Roby's going to be doing, so close to the line, and that man Zebtea, how do you stop him if you're defending on your heels? He's a big, aggressive player, only knows how to play the game one way.
And it looks like it's a fluke when he gets that close to the line, but he does it maybe 15 times in a game, gets one-on-one. It's obviously up to the players inside to prevent him getting at the smaller players, but he's just so good at it.
Well, St Helens with their tails up as we approach the half-time siren. This is Louis McCarthy-Scarisbrooke again. Plays the ball to Roby. Morgan Knowles takes it forward.
Move back to me, Joe.
Sunshine in St Helens on this Good Friday afternoon. Zebtea, the sun at the moment shining on the Saints.
You asked for summer rugby last night, Eddie. Well, it's here today.
I know, it is. It's like spring. Spring has sprung on Good Friday.
Stand. Go.
Richardson again. Oh, now then, this is going everywhere. That's a knock on by Louis McCarthy-Scarisbrooke, though. And it's a zero tackle for Morgan Escaray. Referee will bring him back to the point of the knock-on for the turnover.
Nice simple set from Saints, getting to the kick. It was an attacking kick, they didn't go for distance. They made Burgess run onto that ball, and then there was a challenge in the from LMS and Joe Burgess. Wigan come back with the ball.
This is Tom Davis.
He's a good player, isn't he? Tom Davis, really like watching him progress since he made his debut last year. People saying, why didn't Josh Charnley come back to the club? Well, they've got young Tom Davis, Liam Marshall and Don Manfredi.
And don't forget Burgess.
Yeah, and Burgess.
Yeah, they're well covered in the wingers. Josh Charnley's debut today for Warrington against Widnes. Trailing at half-time. Gildart loses the ball in collision.
I think that every time that they seem to be coming left, which looks as though it's a part of the game plan, that they need a bit more depth. It's okay playing at the line, but you've got to be decisive. You've got to hit some holes for George Williams. Every time George Williams gets the ball, it looks like he's short on time.
I'm going to go back to the first 5 or 10 minutes where they kept dabbing the ball behind the line. I don't know whether the players outside are flat because there's a run, pass or kick option. Obviously on that occasion, they drop the ball, and perhaps when they go in at half-time, Sean Way might either change or remind them of that game plan.
We talked about how well Wigan are being served with wingers, and Josh Charnley making his debut for Warrington this afternoon. I'm hearing that Josh Charnley has scored on his debut against Widnes. So that's part of the money refunded already, first game. Lomax gets it away to Barber. Here is Percival to go wide to Regan Grace. Regan Grace! He gets so close.
Oh, Bateman was just there. Was it young Josh Woods as well?
This is Richardson now. Lomax. Last half minute of the first half. St Helens on the attack. One of the try scorers, Zeb Taylor, halted though. Here's Morgan Knowles. Flat pass to McCarthy Scarsbrook. Douglas keeps it alive. Oh! It was dropped by Dominic Peyrou, and Tommy Makinson would have been in the corner.
Just losing possession, just coming up to half-time now. And it's been Saints all the way in the opening 40 minutes.
There's the half-time siren. St Helens so close to their third try. They have to make do with just the two. The league leaders are ahead by 12 points to 2 against the team breathing down their necks in the Betfred Super League table. Morgan Escaray's penalty in the 5th minute, and Wigan were ahead 2-0. Then we had a touch of magic from Ben Barber. His try, Richardson's goal, 6-2. And 5 minutes from half-time, Zeb Taylor with a try. Richardson added the 2 again, and so Saints turn round with a 12-2 advantage. Work during half-time for Wigan and Sean Wayne to do.
Shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
With Perfect Home, you can get all your creature comforts and pay weekly. The perfect sofa. The perfect washing machine. The perfect telly. Whoa. And you can get your paws on all the perfect tech. Shop now at perfecthome.co.uk. To snap up our new products now, it's got to be Perfect Home.
In all his time running a small business, this year has been Jimmy's toughest. So while he's proud to have helped put a roof over the heads of lots of families, he's most proud of the one he's kept over his family. He gets the most out of his money with QuickBooks, invoicing on the go to get paid faster and automatically tracking mileage on the job. Smarter business tools for the world's hardest workers, now with up to 50% off your first 6 months. QuickBooks, backing you.
Find your spring style with a little help from Bon Prix. New season, new value prices. Sizes range from 6 to 32, and there's thousands of styles to choose from. Get 25% off and free delivery on your first order when you open a personal account. Inspire your season. Visit bonprix.co.uk today. Bon Prix, it's me.
Brand new from Stihl, the lithium ion range, just £99.
And there's this rustic coffee table.
What would this look like in our home?
In Oak Furnitureland's Easter event, save £100 on this 100% solid hardwood rustic coffee table. Now only £249. And save £100 on this stylish TV cabinet. Now just £299.
I like your style.
Thanks, friend.
Yes.
Oak Furnitureland's Easter event must end Monday.
Sky Cinema presents a brand new premiere every day. With more heroes.
World's changed. It's time we change too.
More action.
Today, you can save the world.
And more laughs. Get ready for what's coming. More of everything. Only Sky Cinema brings you a brand new premiere every single day. Sky customers press red to upgrade to Sky Cinema today.
Available to buy or rent in Sky Store now.
There are enemies coming from far away.
The world needs Superman.
They said the age of heroes will never come again. Shall we?
Glad I didn't miss this. Buy or rent Justice League in Sky Store now.
You've got to grind the team down.
Three Premier League games coming up for you over the next 2 days. Tomorrow, Crystal Palace hosts Liverpool, 11:30 a.m. start on Sky Sports Premier League for that one. And then the Super Sunday double-header. First, we're at the Emirates. The Arsenal host Stoke, 12:30 p.m. Sky Sports Premier League again. And then staying in London for the London derby, Chelsea, Tottenham, 3:30, Sky Sports Premier League. We are right now at St Helens, half-time in the Good Friday derby, and it is the home side, the league leaders, leading 12 points to 2 at half-time. Morgan Eskeray with an early penalty for the Wigan Warriors, with St Helens hit back through a couple of tries from Ben Barber and Zed Taya. It is one of 3 matches in the Betfred Super League currently taking place right now. Earlier today, Salford beat Catalan 32-16 and heaped more pressure on Steve McNamara. If you're with us, you would have seen a rip-roaring, full-blooded Hull derby. The visitors winning out in the end by those 8 points. Now, latest scores. Huddersfield are leading 14-10 against Leeds. A couple of tries from Jared Simpson in the first half, and Colin Watkins replied. 14-6 at half-time. Leeds have come back into that now, just 4 points between them. And Warrington, well, they were 10-0 down against Widnes. A couple of Ed Chamberlain tries. Toby King hit back with a pair of his own. Christian Inu penalty gave Widnes a 12-10 half-time lead. And then this happened in the start of the second half. A man we had on our Golden Point show last week, Josh Charnley, formerly of Wigan, of course, signed for the Wigan Warriors now, and this is his first match for the Warriors, wearing number 27 and showing the try-scoring prowess that made him famous at the Wigan Warriors. Right, his former club are currently in quite a battle against St Helens. As I said, it's first v second in the league, but it is also the Good Friday derby, a game that Wigan have dominated over the last 8 or so years. Justin Holbrook will be hoping to win a Good Friday game for the St Helens side for the first time since 2009. Well, Sean Wayne's side are behind by 10 points, have had some opportunities, and it seems to be mainly coming with the boot. A lot of kicking directed towards Joe Burgess. Has not been able to snatch one and ground one yet. That may come in the second half. But Wayne will be desperate to keep this incredible record going. But he's got quite a bit to do. Look, Barry, starting the match, they've got a Morgan Eskeray penalty to show for their troubles. First on the board, the Wigan Warriors.
It was a compelling 40 minutes, weren't it? You're right about the kicking game. George Williams putting it behind the defensive line of St Helens. There was another occasion, Burgess and Makinson having a good old battle over on that edge over there, but because Saints get up so quick, George Williams is not passing, going back inside, and on that occasion it wasn't good enough. But I love watching that try. I think John Wilkin has been sensational in the first half. It was a nice pass to Thompson, and what about that for support play?
Ninth of the season, brilliant support play. 9th of the season, Terry, for Ben Barber, and Saints weren't done then.
I think that every time that this lad gets the ball, something seems to happen. His footwork at the line, they get a penalty from the high shot from George Williams. He's just really difficult to control. Again, he comes up with a quick play of the ball there. James Roby spots it. This is so easy for him. Set to defenders back on the heels. And it's a really good play from Saints. They're all about speed around the ruck. And again, this man going close. It's amazing when he made his debut this time a year ago.
I asked you, Barry, before the match, I asked you two questions: who you thought would win and who you felt needed to win more. You said there was slightly more pressure on the side sitting at the top of the table, St Helens, probably because of their last home performance, a defeat against Leeds. I think they've put any sort of, not quite lingering doubts, but any of the memories of that match to bed now with this first half performance.
Sharp, they look energised, and when it's time to defend, they look up for the task. They look as they're functioning as a unit, and it's always a sign of a good game, Brian, when you look at the clock and you go, my God, has 25 minutes gone already? It flew by, the quality was high, the atmosphere is sensational. I'm really enjoying it, looking forward to the second half.
Now, interestingly, we brought you the news just before the game kicked off that Sam Tompkins, because of a virus, would not play. Morgan Escray, who we didn't think would play because of a virus, has been named in the side. Terry, what that does is it affects Sean Wayne's alterations, bringing Escray off the bench, shifting Sam Tompkins into the half, spelling Thomas Luluai. So they're going to have to now produce something that they haven't had to do in the opening matches of this Super League season, and find a way to engineer a way back into this game without their preferred choices in those key positions.
He has been very good this year, Sam Tompkins. Last year he was a shadow of himself, wasn't he? But this year I think he's been called upon and he's reacted. And he's, as I said before, he's certainly got a point to prove. I'm loving the battle, Brian, between Mark Percival and John Bateman. John Bateman is a right-sided player. In the World Cup, Wayne Bennett chose him to move him onto the left, took the place of probably Super League's best left centre, which was Mark Percival, and he's gone out there with a point to prove against against Bateman today.
Tell me what Wigan do to get themselves back into the game, because they're going to be the ones. They're going to have to chase it a little.
Yeah, George Williams has to stick with the plan that he went out with. A lot of times when I watch George Williams, I think potentially he's the best halfback we've got in this country, and in games like this he's got to bring that game to think and slow the game down, speed it up when he needs to take charge and take control, tuck it under his wing and be forceful. But I want to see George Williams stand up.
That's hard to do, Terry, when you're playing against a side that are willing to pass the ball like St Helens are.
It is, and you're playing against a side as well when George Williams has got the ball and they're looking for those long shifts to the left. They're really getting up, pressurising him, and I don't think that the players outside of him are helping him, because they're too flat. If there's a bit more depth, he gets that pass away nice and easy. There's a lot of pressure on George Williams, and we know that he's got a good left foot step. He goes back into where the action is. He's a runner of the game, but he's also a great organiser. But he's not getting his opportunity because Saints
his kick comes in.
But Saints are not good though defensively. They're closing him down.
That's where his kick comes in. He started the game with it. For some reason, he's lost faith in it a little bit, and you know, maybe Sean Wayne might say, look, let's just go back to plan A.
Well, we'll see how influential George Williams can be in the second 40 minutes. Remember, it is half-time in the Good Friday game between St Helens and Wigan. The last 8 of these matches have gone the way of the Warriors. You can imagine how much motivation then the home side have to hold on to this half-time lead and close out a game. Second 40 minutes on the way.
You can watch the latest movies straight from the cinema on your TV. Easy.
Hurry, offer ends soon. Search Sky Store 50.
Fancy beautiful blooms for less? E&Q can help. It's 20% off all outdoor plants this Easter weekend. So, from pansies to pot plants, or something for everyone. You can do it when you B&Q it.
Believe me, I'd be delighted to serve everyone at Schweppes. But sadly, there are people who are not ready, whom we call amateurs. Only an amateur could stir a Schweppes with a teaspoon or, God forbid, a finger, to reduce the bubbles in their intensity. Those who are capable of drinking it down in one go. Oh my God. In short, they are incapable of appreciating the sharp intent and unique taste of Schweppes.
Monopoly is back at McDonald's, and with millions of chances to win, winning feels as likely as seeing the rebel cop in an action movie, laugh in the face of danger, and going alone.
I'm going in.
What are you doing? Get back here!
I got this!
Here we go again. With that many chances to win with Monopoly at McDonald's, you better get peeling.
At Argos, our Easter event is on. Get our lowest prices on these LG 4K Ultra HD TVs with screen sizes up to 65 inches from just £369. Plus, get this Acer laptop with an Intel Core i5 processor for just £399.99. And save up to £190 on selected Dyson vacuums. Plus, get a free £10 voucher when you spend £100. Go Argos.
See things differently in ultra-high definition with Sky Q. Transform the way you watch TV and get within reach of the action with up to 4 times the detail. Jump into gripping new blockbusters and watch every F1 practice, qualifying and race live. The widest range of entertainment in ultra-high definition, only with Sky Q.
Available to buy or rent in Sky Store now.
Hello? Stop! Freeze!
Perfect. Buy or rent Paddington 2 in Sky Store now.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
The Easter programme continues on a pace on Monday. Easter Monday, we will see the Saints again. They're at Widnes, and we'll be with you 3 o'clock on Sky Sports Arena and the main event. And then, what a massive match this is for the Catalan Dragons and the Huddersfield Giants. 5:10. That match follows on Sky Sports Arena. A double-header on Easter Monday. The busiest time of the year for the players, coaches and clubs in the Betfred Super League. And at half-time, St Helens ahead here by 12 points to 2 against the Wigan Warriors. And so Wigan have got some work to do if they're to preserve coach Sean Wayne's 100% record against St Helens in Good Friday meetings. He's won all 6 since he succeeded Michael Maguire as coach in 2012. St Helens, top of the table, 2 points ahead of them. Wigan with the game in hand. This will be a massive win for Saints if they hang on to it. But there's 40 minutes to go yet. I remember last May, Justin Holbrook won his first derby as coach of St Helens. 22-19. Mark Percival's 77th minute try was decisive. In the Super 8s in September, Ben Barber's St Helens debut was ruined by Wigan, who won here by 26 points to 16. So there's quite a bit to go on in this second half. And I'm sure that Wigan have got the words of their coach, Sean Wayne, reeling in their ears.
And I'm sure he would have talked about a number of players. You could say about Makington and Regan Grace, but Ben Barber, James Roby, John Wilkin, I think those 3 players are the players that Wigan have got to pay special attention to. They are controlling this game. That's
Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook attacking 4 defenders, 3 of them eventually bringing him down. Is Richardson. Peyru to the 40-metre line on tackle number 4. Morgan Knowles makes 10 more, gets Saints to halfway as they prepare for the last tackle. Richardson. Kick down the line. Escaré in the shadow of the stands. And he will bring it back.
Not a bad set. The opening set in the second half from Saints. 80 metres that they've made. Now with this first tackle, they really look to try and turn the screw up here. So try and take the game away from Wigan in the opening 10 minutes of the second half. There's a problem with Joe Burgess.
There is.
Okay. Okay.
I think he's okay, though. You might have noticed the bottom of your screen. Leeds have taken a 2-point lead over Huddersfield Giants.
3. Move, Morgan.
Wigan, meanwhile, trailed by 10. In possession here with Powell. He finds Ryan Sutton.
4. Move, James.
Ryan Sutton gets Wigan to halfway. Williams. Here's Liam Farrell. I think Wigan will be looking for a quick start to this second half if they can score first.
Hold.
That'll probably be the plan. Williams, kick to the corner. Barber's after it. Oh, Barber knocks on, but Wigan are offside, they're inside the 10, chasing the kick down. He's lucky, Ben Barber.
He called them early as well, Robert Hicks. There's players in front of the kicker. George Williams puts it high. He's challenging that back three of St Helens that have been so effective, and Ben Barber can't collect it.
A couple of players from Wigan as well. When you look at the likes of Liam Farrell carrying the ball, he's going straight and hard. Ryan Sutton straight and hard. They've got the ball tucked under the wing. There's no intention really of passing the ball. When Saints are carrying the ball, they're going into contact, they're looking for that offload. It's all about, for Wigan, it seems like at the minute, just getting over the top of their opponents, playing off quick rucks.
McCarthy Scarisbrook takes St Helens into Wigan territory. Only 2 tackles gone this set. Morgan Knowles finds Douglas. Good ground being made by the St Helens forwards. Halfway through the set, Roby will go the right-hand side and find Richardson. He'll then turn it back to Barber. Barber surrounded by black Wigan jerseys. Surrenders to the challenge, so a couple more seconds for Tautai to get up off the grounded man. This is Lomax, now Douglas. Tautai again with Isa and Sutton. Last one coming up then for the Saints. Kick from Lomax into the corner. Davis underneath it. He's safe enough. Right, let's go down to the sideline to pick up the halftime news. Last night Angela Powers was sat in a puddle, she told us. Today she's got the sun oil on.
I do, and I've got some AstroTurf under my feet as well, and they're dry, thank goodness. Short and sweet messages from both of the coaches. Sean Wayne said he sensed a bit of frustration. Well, I sensed a bit of frustration in his messages. He seemed to be unhappy with the way some of the penalties went, but he did say we'd be better off if we got a fair share of the ball. He wants them to tidy up some detail in defence, but it's that share of the ball, holding on to the ball, which is important for him. Now for the Justin Holbrook, he said it was a good half. The longer it went on, he said, the better we got. Now we've got to start again and make create those opportunities once more. But he's feeling very confident that they can do that.
Well, at the moment, we're going to have a penalty because, as you saw, there was a St Helens player going for a piggyback on one of the Wigan stars. So Tautai has it on the first tackle, and they're inside St Helens territory as this set begins. It's a good ball, and well, they had to watch Willie Isa all the way, and they did. It came from Woods. Here is Tompkins. This is Williams. Williams gives it to Farrell. Farrell goes wide and finds Gildart. Very quickly in his face, though, Tommy Makinson. Farrell again. Now Williams. Sutton. Attracting interest and attention from the NRL in Australia. And he's flattered by that, he says. This is Williams. Back it comes to Tompkins! First blood to the Wigan Warriors at the start of this second half. The fight back just might be gaining a little momentum. Sean Wayne's words working wonders in the opening 5 minutes of the half. 12-6, kick to come. Joel Tompkins with his first try of the season.
Well, he's giving his side some hope, haven't they? Here they get the penalty. Easy meters for Liam Farrell and his teammates, and Joel Tompkins, who I thought was outstanding last year in this fixture from Wigan Big Saints. He's a good player, he's been around the blocks, he knows exactly how to play. Turned up with George Williams, and there seems a bit more depth. George Williams has got more of a running game in this second half. He's really taking on the line.
Joel Tompkins' important try at the start of the second half for Wigan. Very much back in it now then. Paul Wellens is reading the riot act to the St Helens players. Tompkins has subbed for the first time this year last week. Had a great game against the Saints for Sean Wayne last Good Friday. Now then, can Escaray add the extras? First kick was bang in front early in the first half. He's kicked it. Morgan Escaray, 12-8, St Helens lead. First blood in the second half to Wigan.
Well, Louis McCarthy Scarisbrook gets tangled up with Talima Tautai, and when Joel Tompkins gets the ball back on the inside from George Williams, Louis McCarthy is too slow to get over, and the Wigan fans are left celebrating. St Helens will probably look at that and think a bit more urgency, pushing across in defence. They might have been able to shut that down.
Well, Wigan certainly look a different team in 2018 to the one that ended last season losing 32-0 at Wakefield. They finished 6th last year. It was their lowest finish since 2009, and Sean Wayne said he's been working really hard through the off-season to make sure that that doesn't happen again. At the moment, they're second in the table behind the league leaders who they're playing today.
Look, the players who represent Wigan know what's expected of them. Sean Wayne, when you looked at his body language at half-time, he was very forceful, very animated. And what I think he was saying is, look, let's run a little bit harder, let's gain that momentum. And from that momentum, the inside and outside options that George Williams had gave that player an opportunity, and he grabbed it with both hands.
Good hands from Escaray, and then it finds its way out to Joe Burgess, and Burgess weaving his way back inside. Here's Escaray again. Woods on the last tackle, hoists it wide, finds Davis. Davis palms it back, off the legs, still, and then off Regan Grace, but I think the ball played him, not the other way round. Referee agreed.
There's a lot more determination. I agree with what Barry's saying. Wigan forwards running harder. It's giving them a platform to play off. They get down to near Saints' line because of those quick run speeds.
Have a look at his offside. The decision is a score.
John Bateman just questioning the referee, thinking that Saints were offside.
Let's get round the 10.
And that ball was kicked forward.
Asking him to look at the screen, I mean. I don't know what I expected Robert Hicks to do if he looked at the screen.
Well, the decision was right. You know, Robert stands his ground, and let's get on with it.
Here's Percival now for the Saints.
Hold now, hold goal.
7 tries for Mark Percival in 7 this year.
2, move, Ryan.
Morgan brought down. McCarthy Scarsbrook takes Saints almost up to halfway. Roby and Theo Farge will get them over the halfway line. Here they come with Zeb Taylor. This is Mark Percival. Percival slips the pass back on the inside, picked up by Barber. He gives it to Grace.
Surrender.
Roby into centre field to Theo Farge. 2 Frenchmen on the field. Of course, now Theo Farge has taken a heavy clout from Tautai and Morgan Escaray. Richardson, shape to kick, now does, under the sticks, bounced off the pads, and Josh Woods had to be quick.
It was a lucky bounce, wasn't it? He was just in the right place at the right time, the young halfback Josh Woods. Good kick from Danny Richardson, he was the one who was urgent, chasing that ball up. Now Saints have been under a bit of pressure in the opening 10 minutes. What have they got here?
Huddersfield back in front against the Leeds Rhinos. Warrington 26-12 and looking in control against Widnes. Tautai up the middle here for Wigan, trailing by 8 points to 12. Sam Powell with a kick. Looking for the sideline. Regan Grace and Ben Barber will cut it off. Grace takes control. We'll see St Helens again on Easter Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock. We'll see people like Grace, who's making a break here. They'll be at Widnes, and we'll be with them. And then we follow that in quick succession by the Catalan Dragons against Huddersfield. Huddersfield are beating Leeds at the moment. And I'm told that Josh Charnley has scored a 2nd try for Warrington this afternoon in that scoreline against Widnes. So, he will be a hero on his first game for the Wolves. Here is Roby. This is Lomax. Finds Regan Grace. Regan Grace for the line. Held up by great defence low down by Tom Davis. Bobbly pass finds Richardson. That's a turnover.
Well, the pace of this game is phenomenal. It's developing into a really fascinating arm wrestle. Whatever Wigan do, Saints try and do better. I think that ended up being a little bit slow and laboured because of the break that Regan Grace made.
And he looked laboured in the break. It was strange, Barry. I mean, I thought Regan Grace, but he's I mean, 51 minutes, you're right, we're into the game. He has had a rest at half-time, and he's playing on the wing, and I would have expected Regan Grace to look a bit sharper there. When the ball came to him near the try line then, Terry, he basically fell.
He looked like he wanted to be tackled when he made that break, and then he looked like he was out on his feet, Eddie, down there, but it was good interplay by the wingers. Tommy Makinson, again, with another strong carry off the ruck, gets him into that valuable field position.
Well, it was a tick in the box for the Wigan defence.
Hold, go.
This is Luluai. Farrell. Saints fans are singing when the Saints go marching in. Here goes Gildart down the left-hand side. Good job that Richardson again got a hand on a collar. Williams. Hoist the kick. Barber's underneath it, but a great chase by Joe Burgess. Oh, he's not happy. Ben Barber is not happy with something there.
Wasn't it a good spot again? These teams like in the short side play. Jumps from the field of play. He's tackled over the try line.
Let's get off that ball.
And I don't know whether it's the players in front of him, but there's no foul play here from Joe Burgess. He just takes him over the try line. There's three players around him.
I think he's having a go at them, Terry.
Yeah, when he gets up, he's turned around, he has a go at his team. It was the short side play from Wigan. When they got at Luke Douglas, they spotted a prop forward on the wing, and they choose to go down that.
It was a brave kick decision. Gildart played the ball, so Gildart's your left centre, who you expect to chase a kick like that. So what Williams has done is kick to an area where there was only Joe Burgess to chase. If that hadn't gone the way of Wigan that time, St Helens had numbers around there and could have attacked with numbers and that pace. It's come off for Wigan, but it was an interesting decision.
Well, Barber wasn't happy. And here comes Wigan with Liam Farrell. Here's Escaray. Williams again. Williams trying to weave his way through. That's an important challenge, that by Amor. This is Luluai. Gets the ball away. Joel Tompkins is held up.
Teddy just turning up, isn't he? The right place at the right time. In these pressure games in front of the Wigan fans. The last player now 10 metres out, he'll go back while they play out. There's more purpose with the way that the Warriors seem to be playing at present.
Luluai to Williams, dink over the top. Playing by Makinson. Makinson to run it back. Whoops. Runs about 50 metres but goes flat across the face of his own posts. Percival now. Woods gets to him. This is good defence from Wigan now. Wigan seeking the error in defence from the Saints. As Zebtea takes tackle number 3. They've only made 4 metres. Roby. Thompson.
There's one man who won't go sideways in gaining valuable metres. Thompson and this man.
Oh, Roby, what a run! He has done that throughout his glittering career. And Barber is the man at dummy half. He chips it over the top of Morgan Escaray. This is a good kick from Barber. Is it? No, just too long.
Well, James Roby, he knows exactly at the right point. He gets up 10-15 metres, doesn't force that offload. And the ruck speed from both sides, as I said, the pace is phenomenal.
Hold me, James, hold. Go.
James Roby taking part in his 41st derby. There he is again. Bateman smuggles the ball back though, picked up by Farrell. Liam Farrell. He pokes his nose down the middle.
Hold me, Ted. Hold, go.
Gildart. Joel Tompkins again. It's the pass away to Luluai. Dab into the corner by Woods. They're all after this. Makinson. Ooh! So close, Tom Davis. 20-metre restart.
Tom Davis tries absolutely everything. What about the nerves from Tommy Makinson to allow that ball to go dead?
Kicked on the first, Terry. Referee wiped the tackle count. I'm not sure they heard it, but I'll tell you what, this game is broken open now, hasn't it? There's fatigue kicking into both sets of players here. Great defensive effort there from Wigan, but you can sense something's going to happen. Whether it's going to be spectacular or not, I'm sure, but something major is going to happen in this match.
Kyle Amor.
Move, Tommy. Hold. Go.
Luke Thompson. Roby strolls into dummy half again. Down the left they come with Zeb Tea. Important period of the match, you feel, in the balance of play. Morgan Knowles surrounded by Wigan defenders. That's 4 gone. Theo Farge, Richardson, Ryan Morgan pulled down, will play it. Richardson again. Now then, the chase is on for this high kick. Well played, Burgess.
Was well taken by Joe Burgess again. There's some pressure from Saints. The height of that kick enabled the side to get down there and really put some pressure on Burgess. Now here goes Davis. I think both sets of wingers are really playing well in this game. Just a missed tackle, all of a sudden you could be broken. Concede 90 metres, concede a try.
Luluai looking to pinch a penalty then.
They look tired, Wigan. There's not enough push with Thomas Luluai then. If he gets through, there's nobody with him.
Sean O'Loughlin's back out there. This Williams. Last one here for Wigan. Josh Woods. Straight up in the air, and old-fashioned up and under this. And Farrell drops it.
Well, it's not the kick they're looking for, that. There's a penalty here for being offside. Liam Farrell stood in front of the kicker. The ball comes down. He's in an offside position.
There's pressure from St Helens on the kicker from Wigan. But he should know. He should set himself, Josh Woods, probably a little bit more experience at this level will tell him he needs to set a play before. But Wigan have made an interesting change. It looks like Joe Burgess now is playing at full-back. Looks like they've moved that back line around. I don't know whether there's fatigue with Morgan Escaré or they're just looking tactically.
Farge to Tea.
Move, Josh!
Roby to Thompson again. Flower all over him. Farge. Player was hit late. Referee says play on. Here goes Ryan Morgan. Big tackle by Willie Isa. Richardson floats it in the middle to Farge again. Here is Lomax. Keeps it coming left with Zeb Tea. Tea over the top for Regan Grace. Regan Grace gets it away then to Percival. Percival comes across the face. Wigan getting down on tackle number 5. Luke Thompson at dummy half. Will give it to Farge. Woods was all over him. This is Lomax, still the last. Lomax taking the responsibility himself. Liam Farrell to the rescue for Wigan.
We're looking for some individual brilliance there, Johnny Lomax. And I think there's a penalty here. There's the Saints pushing a Wigan player in the back. And I think the reshuffle's come about. I can't see Oliver Gildart on the pitch at present. Is he just...
I think he's out on the wing.
Just moving back over.
It's a push.
Escaré is the man who's come off.
Well, you've got Willie Isa gone into centre, so it must be Gildart on the wing.
Well,
right, a bit of a reshuffle around.
Was it Escaré who was a little laboured with the run?
Yeah.
Maybe it's
obviously
fitness.
He got that late call up. Sam Tompkins didn't make the game, but we'll see how Joe Burgess playing at fullback. He's played there a couple of times in his career for Wigan.
Big, a really big step up for Josh Woods, by the way. He's been playing for Swinton this year, bottom of the championship, who played 4 times for them. To come from there to here in inside a week and play in this derby is quite an ask. Tony Clubb.
Both sides got those old war horses back on, Wilkin and O'Loughlin.
That's a great run from Luluai. 22 apiece at Huddersfield. Battle Royal there. Similar here. Battle Royal. Good ball back on the inside from Joel Tompkins to Joe Burgess. Watched all the way by Zeb Tea. Woods to O'Loughlin. Here's Williams. Williams up and over the top. Well played again by Makinson.
That's what O'Loughlin does for Wigan. It means that George Williams can get one pass wider and he has a bit more time and space to look at what's there and available for him.
Wigan looking to up the ante again in defence here.
I think he's been brilliant, Tommy Makinson. He's dealt with everything, hasn't he? His kick returns have been very good, even coming in and just helping the forwards out in those simple yardage plays.
Lomax goes down. 4 tackles, 15 metres. 10 more metres there from Taya. Last one, though, for St Helens, still deep inside their own half. Roby, there were defenders scattered on the floor there. That's why they're running this with Ben Barber. Barber down the line. Tom Davis and Burgess deal with the threat.
You're right, Eddie. Good spot. There was a tackle off the ball. He was pushing up in support, Theo Fage. Absolutely cleaned out by Thomas Luluai. Play on.
Well, we told you that Escaré is off the field. Let's get the story. Angela?
Well, the story is he must have taken a knock to the head, Eddie, but he was allowed to play on. We have a system in the tunnel now where the doctors can review any injuries that happened on the pitch. The doctors did, the Wigan doctors did have a look at that, decided to take him off to concussion test him. So that's what is happening right at the moment.
Okay, so we've got a quarter now to get back on the field. Josh Woods' kick turns Regan Grace around. It's into the in-goal area. Oh, they're all missing him.
Well, they're all flying in as soon as he gets the ball. Joel Tompkins just turned round to some of his teammates who were just jogging up behind him, saying, look, we've got to get up here. We've got to put pressure on. Don't let Regan Grace get the ball and attack us.
Then Barber and Tony Clubber into each other here. Barber didn't like some of Clubb's contact.
No, he got a bit of a heavy one, did Regan Grace, and Barber was in close attendance. Fage. McCarthy, Scarsbrook. All gone. It's big work in defence by Wigan. They've restricted St Helens to 5 tackles inside their own half again, but the kick here from Richardson is measured and went in between Burgess and Gildart.
Great kick, all about distance then from Danny Richardson, and not a bad chase as well.
There's some walkers there in the Wigan ranks now. Maybe 7 players behind the play of the ball. Trying to get some air back into the lungs. The pace, the intensity, it's lung-burning stuff at the minute.
Bateman can't get away from Regan Grace's challenge. Sean O'Loughlin. The Wigan skipper. He played his first derby with Sean O'Loughlin in 2002. Ryan Carney was in short trousers.
Oh, thank you very much.
This is Williams. Now it's Liam Farrell. Ben Barber just nonchalantly gives it to Tommy Makinson. Let's get injury news. A bit more coming in. Angela?
Off now having a concussion test, and the news on Escaré is he's failed that concussion test. He's on the sidelines now. Kyle Amor has gone off for a concussion test, and it's Escaré now who's come back out of the dressing rooms. He's failed the concussion test, so he won't play any more part in this game.
That's a blow for Wigan, and Saints will hope that Amor will be A-OK, but this meanwhile is John Wilkin. This is Amor's. Well, he got a big clatter and then he hit his head on the ground, I think. Here's Ben Barber meanwhile. Whoops, went behind the Regan Grace.
Well, Mark Percival pulls back, doesn't he? He thinks that Grace is in a better position than him when that man goes to deliver the ball. He does get those defenders interested. Every time he gets the ball, there's panic that sets in. You've got Tom Davis that's looking ahead, and he's probably accounting for Mark Percival.
So difficult for Regan Grace there. He thinks his centre's going to catch him, needs to keep his depth, needs to be in a position to catch the ball in case Percival accelerates, but he just leans back and the ball ends up being behind him.
Fractionally less than 16 minutes left, 4 points in it. Who wins it, lads?
Wow, anybody, Eddie. And that is not sitting on the fence, that, Eddie.
No, of course not.
That is not sitting on the fence.
No,
Saints go on to score the next try, they'll go on to win the game.
After 40 minutes, you'd have said all day and all night, Saints, we're going to win this game, but Wigan have replied in some fashion in the second half.
What I will say about Wigan in the second half, they are a different team than what they were in the first half. Playing off the likes of the forwards, going forward, And out here on the left-hand side with George Williams.
Flicks the pass back to Liam Farrell. Liam Farrell tries to straighten it up.
Get square. Go, Marcus, good.
Bateman. Up the middle to the 10-metre line. Still going, Bateman. What a run that was. Farge all over him, could have been penalised, the St Helens substitute. Here is Gildart skipping out of the challenges, flicks the pass. Burgess picks up the pieces. Richardson stripped it, and it's 6 to go for Wigan. 6 to go with Gildart in possession. Lulawai, down he goes. Theo Farge got to him quickly. O'Loughlin. Williams again, ducks under one, can't get away from Wilkin. Wigan laying siege to the St Helens line. O'Loughlin, round the corner it goes, picked up. Chance for Isa, try for Isa. Wigan fans and coach celebrate. Robert Hicks wants confirmation. He's given a try on the field, but this from Willie Isa looks like it's levelled the scores up. Stuart on-field decision to try, crucial.
It is, and I haven't a clue what he's asking for because it's so noisy down in that goal.
It's noisy up here.
So he's going to be looking at coming through a crowd of players and the grounding of the ball. Certainly nothing wrong so far. Ball picked up cleanly. There's no knock-on by Willie Isa. He keeps possession and that's grounded fine. That's confirmed for me. Can't see anything wrong with that.
There was some frantic defence from Saints. They defended really well up until this point. A loose offload. Willie Isa, right place, right time. Rides a couple of tackles.
Does he lose this and does it?
No, he doesn't lose this
I'm
ball.
not saying he does.
He's got possession all the time. Always in possession there.
It took some finishing.
Are they looking for a knock-on against Willie Isa?
Well, yeah, but there's no evidence of him losing possession. It's always in contact with his arm and his body, and that means he's in possession.
So look at Tommy Makinson pulling at the ball here. This is Tommy Makinson's left hand is pulling at this ball, and probably you'd argue pulling it out of Willie Isa's grip now. Stuart, then is it in between the right arm of Willie Isa's right thigh?
Well, he's still in possession. If he's got his right arm against the ball and the body, that's possession. You can't see anything up from his left hand, so you've got to presume that he's in possession. Tries given on the field.
I agree with you, Stuart. He doesn't lose possession even if that ball was stripped.
Well, we've seen the grounding, so I think Ben Thaler's going to press the green light. Willie Isa then, for Wigan, levels the scores. His 70th Wigan appearance. His first try of the season against Huddersfield last week. 8 years in Super League for Willie Isa. Castleford, Widnes and Wigan from 2016. And George Williams with Escaré off the field to try and add the extra 2 and kick Wigan ahead. And that's exactly what he does. Wigan lead, 14-12, 14 minutes to go.
Well, he's a workhorse, Willie Isa. When he came over here, he started on the wing. Wigan's top tackler last season, but he's come up with a vital try here that edges Wigan in front in this thrilling derby game.
Look what it means to Sean Wayne. And the guy in front of him is pretty pleased as well.
That's Winston, one of the directors, I believe, losing himself.
Hey, just going back to Willie Isa, you'd have him in your 17 every week. He's one of those players, he's probably not quick enough to be a centre, he's probably not big enough to be a back rower. Loose forward he'll have a go because he's got a heart the size of a lion, but you can't not pick him because he's constantly putting himself where the action is. Great player and a man you'd love to have in your team.
Yeah, the try that levelled it. Williams added the extras, and how about this for your first kick of the afternoon from Williams from the touchline. 14-12, 13 minutes and counting.
Eddie, you can't shut up shop. There's a knock on there. John Bateman, he loses possession. He tries to spin out of the tackle. James Roby and Dominic Peru. Look, tries to get rid of him, spins around, loses the ball, and it's the correct decision from the referee, Robert Hicks, helped by the touch judge.
Okay, almost that time again when we ask you to choose the Betfred man of the match. It can be done quickly and simply this year using the Our League app. That's the Rugby League's Our League app. A former great watching on Sky Sport today. Going to come up with 4 names in a few minutes. The voting will then be open, and we'll give you the word as soon as the vote goes live. Thomas Minns of Hull KR on the losing side in a rip-roaring big city derby. He won the man of the match. Who's going to win this man of the match? But Thomas Minns got a hat-trick in that game to end up on the losing side. So it'll be interesting to see who gets the nod from you. We'll give you the 4 names shortly.
Was it
right, full time at Huddersfield. Sorry, Terry. 22 apiece, Huddersfield and Leeds. No golden point there, and Warrington have beaten Widnes 32-18.
First draw of the season, Eddie. It was coming.
And if certain people have their way, it'll be a golden point in years to come. But I think if you go away and you get a draw, I think you've got all you need.
Hey, well done to Chris Thorman and the Huddersfield side for getting something out of that game. They'll take 1 point, let me tell you.
Who'll take 2 points here? Richardson hoists the kick down the right-hand side. Burgess is underneath it. He's been safe under those all day. And Burgess brings it back.
Well, I've been loving that battle over there between those 2 wingers, Burgess and Makinson. Each time you've been asked to come down with the ball, in a really vulnerable position, you've done it. And here goes Willie Iser, coming in from that centre position over on the left-hand side to help the forwards.
Bateman to halfway on tackle number 4. That's Powell. This is O'Loughlin. Down he goes on the last. So the wingers have funneled back because they know where this is going. Straight up in the air. Barber, though, underneath it. No challenge.
No challenge, Eddie, but it's a better chase, isn't it? There's been patches in this game that Sean Wayne, I'm sure, won't be happy with. He loves his defensive players and their attitude to defend.
I wonder if Splinter's any closer to picking out a winner here. Going to get off the fence.
Are you talking to me or Tez?
You know who I'm talking to.
Well, Tez went for Wigan at the start of the game. I went for Saints at the start of the game, and my dad told me it's bad luck to change your mind, so I'm going to stick with Saints. They're going to come back.
Got a bang in the face there, Morgan Knowles.
Yeah, again, footwork at the line, Tony Clubb. Just puts his arm on. And there's some frustration he gets between 2 players. And he's dealt with as well by Luluai.
Okay, the vote is now open for the man of the match via the Our League app. Here are the contenders: Joel Tompkins and George Williams of Wigan, Luke Thompson and Ben Barber of St Helens. You can vote using the Our League app, and we'll tell you who is the Betfred man of the match at the end of the game. Roby! Still going, Roby.
He's done
Floored
well.
to the ground by Luluai.
He's done well not to be in the top 4, Eddie. Roby.
Morgan Knowles. Club gets to him. With O'Loughlin down he goes, 10 metres away. Still plenty of tackles in the bank. Here's a penalty. Will they take the 2?
Surely
Will St Helens take the 2?
Yeah, Mark Percival looks straight to the touchline. The calls come on.
Hands are all over the ball after move. That's the decision.
He's dropped them.
Mate, I've given the decision that your hand causes it. What are you doing?
Well, the kicking tee is on, but there's still some discussions going along. Here's where the ball comes out.
He's dropped that.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to ask, has the ball been stolen? I think he's just lost that ball.
There's no doubt about it.
It all depends how the referee saw it, and he said when he was questioned by Sean O'Loughlin, that's my decision.
Do you know, I know, and in this atmosphere, I know there's valuable 2 points in this derby game, but the ref's got to call it as he sees it, and he thought there was arms in from Sean O'Loughlin.
Well, Richardson kicks this. We're in drop goal territory.
God forbid we get a draw, Brian.
I don't mind a draw. I'm all for draws.
Well, this will level the scores if Richardson kicks it, and the young man does. 14 apiece. Little harsh on Wigan if you look at this again.
Well, you know, when he's
rolled that call.
He has. Some calls go for you and against you, and that's a call that maybe have gone against Wigan, but they can't dwell on that error. It's now the game's all level, and it's the one who's got the composure in these final 8 minutes will go on and win the game.
This is where people will have difficulty watching this game and see how forensically we examine foot in touch, is it not, when we're looking at a try. There's 2 points incorrectly given, basically. And we sit back. Again, I'm not a fan of overusing a video referee, but it's difficult to explain that to people, how you can allow that, such a blatant mistake, and it is a mistake to go unpunished, or uncorrected, I should say.
Roby gets the ball away. This is Dominique Peyrou, scrambling to get to his feet. Saints want to get up the other end of the field and have a pop at the drop goal. Who are the drop goal candidates? Well, you've got to say Richardson. I would think you've got to say Lomax, perhaps. He's just passed the ball here to Zeb Taylor. I bet Ben Barber wouldn't be far off the list either, would he? Percival is the dummy half.
John Wilkin.
Whoops, John Wilkin. Well, he's given a knock-on against him. Now frustration for Justin Holbrook, and look where he turns this ball over, just inside Wigan's half here.
And that's what he's frustrated with, Eddie. He's just 2 metres inside Wigan's half. Justin Holbrook knows that there's an opportunity, whether they were going to go for the 1 point in that set or just try and kick it in behind Wigan and just restrict the yardage that they were about to make. But they lose possession in valuable territory.
I wonder if Wigan will go for 1 point if they get within range. There's Tom Davis. Thomas Luluai just strolls into dummy half like he's on a walk with the dog on a Good Friday afternoon.
And he's just ushering all his forwards. Just keep following me, I'm directing you where I want you to lay that platform.
Clough goes up the middle.
He's playing at 9, Luluai, but he can stroke him over as well.
This is O'Loughlin, they're coming back down the middle again. O'Loughlin not interested in spreading it wide. Now then, 12, 13, 14, 15 metres out maybe. Back it comes to Sam Powell! Missed it.
Well, you could tell by the reaction of the Saints fans that he didn't quite get the right contact on that ball. And I'm sure some of his teammates thought they were going to run that play. They were going to have another crack at them over on the left-hand side. They didn't. They kept on going there.
Now it's Wigan's job to try and keep St Helens restricted to their half of the field.
You want to make sure you're squeaky clean here, no penalties.
Amor. Roby waits. Here's Wilkin. Gets it away to Richardson. Now Barber. Ben Barber slips it wide to Ryan Morgan. Here they come. Here come the Saints. Tackled by Burgess. Makinson will bring it back into the centre of the field. This is Wilkin. Wilkin finds Lomax. Lomax long to Regan Grace. Regan Grace in the corner for St Helens. And that is a golden point. It's a golden 4 points. And Regan Grace, who burst onto the scene in this match last year, has just scored again against the Wigan Warriors, and this time he might have won the match for them.
Wow, in front of Mal Meninga, a bit of nostalgia, rollercoaster rugby league here from St Helens. Ryan Morgan keeps his composure, does everything right, plays the ball as quick as he can. Makinson, Wilkin, and what about this for a lob pass? Does well to hold the sideline, does well to catch the ball and put it down. Is it the victory? I'm not prepared to say that Saints have won it yet.
But what a spectacular finish. Regan Grace, as Barry said 12 months ago, amazing grace.
Fantastic player, fantastic game. We're lucky, aren't we? Sometimes it's a privilege to be sitting here wondering and marvelling at these magnificent athletes.
Tremendous. Well, he might have won it. There's still just shy of 4 minutes remaining. This is a big kick from the young man, Danny Richardson. Because if we're going to get over the other end and have a converted try, if this misses, they'd win it themselves. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. There is a very old head on young shoulders there. And Danny Richardson and Regan Grace have maybe just won this match for St Helens.
That's incredible. Brilliant finish, brilliant kick. It's like Saints of early 2000s. And what Saints can do, they can recognise when the defensive line's not back and not set. He was struggling to get back a couple of players, and they attack straight away. And they go for the short kick-off. There's no one challenging that ball. It's that man again, Tommy Makinson.
21 years old, Danny Richardson. 21 years old, Regan Grace. They have come of age this afternoon.
Talked about the back three for Saints before the match. Makinson, Grace, Ben Barber actually set up the break over on the right-hand side for St Helens. It's been a forward battle. It's been an attritional game at times, but it's been that little bit of shine from those back three players.
Incredible. Wigan went for the 1 point that they thought might win it for them. It just spewed the wrong side. Ben Barber's winning this in a counter, the man of the match, that is. But from one end of the field to the other, Saints went up the other end. Barber's try, Richardson's conversion from the sideline. Looks like it might win the match now. Back it comes to Richardson. He's kicked another. He knows he's kicked St Helens to victory here. Barber might have won the man of the match, but Danny Richardson takes all the headlines.
Eddie, what you love to see in games like this is, can you play on the next level? And I think that youngster has answered that question today. He certainly can step up in the big games. As I said earlier, he's been in the England Knights programme. He's stepped up in a Wigan Saints derby, and he's took control.
Two youngsters come to mind in the Super League this year. Jack Walker, the Leeds fullback, and this kid, Danny Richardson at St Helens.
Yeah.
Pleasure
Tremendous.
to watch.
Absolutely.
Both of them.
You want to see the next generation. You are only a custodian of the jersey that you wear. When you hand that on to somebody else, you haven't got a God-given right to keep hold of that. And I love seeing youngsters come through the system. The coaches award them with the chance, and then when they get the chance, it's up for those young kids to keep the place. And that man has kept his place, kept the former Wigan Warriors scrum half Matty Smith out of the group, and that is a big plus and a feather in his cap. And well done to Justin Holbrook for having confidence in that youngster.
And these two clubs in particular really invest in their youth. Derek Traynor, who sits beside the coach, Justin Holbrook, played a massive part in all the players that have come through the system, but he's not on his own. There's a whole back room of staff. You could argue that Wigan and Saints provide the majority of youngsters in most teams because they're so fruitful in that youth development.
Well, here come Wigan. They've not given it up yet, but the time is very much against them, and this is Bateman. One other point, by the way, about Richardson, he is Super League's top goal kicker this season. And he's the top point scorer as well. Williams, 10 metres out. This is Joel Tompkins. Joel Tompkins gets the try! Second try for Joel Tompkins. Well, Robert Hicks hasn't given it yet.
I'm all right with the grounding,
There's nothing wrong with his try.
Turn back on.
He's all right with the grounding. He had a word with the touch judge who wasn't sure. Robert Hicks said he's all right with the grounding. Now then,
how important's that drop goal?
Another drop goal of huge significance, maybe.
Well, we saw it, didn't we, when Cass played Leeds and Luke Gale knocked over that 1 point. And then all of a sudden Wigan, well, they've got a chance to arm, they've got to throw the ball around. Joel Tompkins comes up with a brilliant effort and a great try. Look at this, rides a couple of tackles, Eddie, and manages to get this ball down.
Well, while we've been watching this, George Williams just a second ago has sliced the kick wide of the post. I have to ask, why would you bother taking the kick and wasting almost a minute? You've got 10 seconds on the clock now. We're not going to get a restart. They might have done if they'd have left it go.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Fair point, well made, and it shouldn't detract from this absolutely sensational game.
Saints have won it. 21 points to 18. Ben Barber, I I think we saw he was winning the man of the match vote from you by a canter. But the name that I think we will all be talking about after this match is Danny Richardson. Regan Grace with the try, that man with the conversion, and then the drop goal that just sealed it.
Absolute excellent, Eddie. As I said, Justin Holbrook's given that lad a chance, and boy has he rewarded him. The way that he plays, the way that he takes on defensive line, along with that man Regan Grace. We've got some great youngsters in Super League. You talked about the youngsters coming through at both Wigan and Saints. Well, Saints had 8 players that have come through the system taking part in this derby, whilst Wigan had 10. Absolutely incredible. The next generation has arrived onto the stage, and isn't it good to see? And when you're talking about those players, we're not even talking about Ben Barber in the final stages of this game. He's no doubt in my mind he'll go on to win man of the match, but brilliant effort from everyone involved. And now they've got to do it all again come Monday.
Indeed so. The Saints will take their league leadership, and it's now 4 points the gap between them and Wigan and the rest. They're 4 points clear, going to Widnes on Monday afternoon, and that's a game you'll be able to enjoy once again with us, and they are worth watching, aren't they? Mind you, Wigan played their full part in this match.
And isn't that great to see, Eddie, the respect both players have for each other, hugging each other, congratulating each other on the performance, because you wouldn't have a good old derby game if it wasn't for the two sides giving their all.
Terrific game. St Helens won it courtesy of brilliance from Grace and the kicking of Richardson, and a performance again at the top draw from their Australian superstar Ben Barber. He has won the Betfred Man of the Match award by a country mile, and he's talking now with Angela Powers.
There it is, Man of the Match award, Ben Barber. Do you want to take that? You get the silver salver. You kicked it all off with that try, blistering try in the first half, and now look at this. You've got to win at a derby. How good does it feel?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. It's my first one, and what a game it was. I think this could have went to any of the 17 guys that played today. Today was always going to be about effort, not about skill. When these two teams play together in this derby, it's about who works the hardest. And lucky enough, we come away with it. They scored that late try, which we were a bit disappointed in. But look, just stoked to get the win, and look, I enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the next one.
Does it feel different to any other game you've played? The atmosphere?
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. And I truly understand now why they're so passionate. So look, as I said, I'm pretty shocked actually I got this. So
by about 50% as well.
Yeah. Look, I just try and do my best job every week and try and play my part in this football side, and that's the best I can do. That's the best I can do, and I'm pretty stoked to be playing in this football team.
There's something about digging deep though, wasn't it? Because Wigan came out in the second half with a lot of heat and a lot of pace.
Yeah, it was. We went behind there. We could have went 2 ways there. We could have bowed our heads and folded there like I think we did against Leeds, but we stayed composed and calm, and some good work on both edges, and finished off a good try.
Well, near my feet here, I've got a cheque for you, £250 to the charity of your choice. Who will be?
This will go to Saints Foundation again. They do some wonderful stuff for the locals here in the Saints community, so this will go straight to them.
Thanks, and thanks for your entertainment today. Thank you. We've got the St Helens coach, Justin Holbrook. He's having a little word with Ben, so you can see by the smile on his face. You can see by that smile that you're a very, very happy man tonight. It's the first time you've won a Wigan derby on Good Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously, what a game, what an atmosphere, and yeah, great.
You must have thought, though, when Wigan came out, scored that early try in the second half, that maybe the pace was being dictated by them?
Yeah, possibly. You know, I thought, yeah, we were a little bit slow in the second half, but I thought, yeah, it was a fantastic game, and we missed some chances. You know, I thought Regan was nearly there, and a few close calls. So I felt all along with a better side, but you know, full credit to Wigan. They made an absolute cracking game.
Ben made the point that heads could have gone down, you could have slowed in that second half, but picked up something from somewhere. What was it about this Saints team that can do this?
Oh, you know, we've been doing it for 7 weeks. It's still early in the year, but I told them to back themselves. You know, it's an 8th game and we're still building, but every indication in this side is we can win games, and they did it. They did it today.
And they scored a try right on the death as well. Did you still feel comfortable you'd get that win after that try by Wigan in the corner?
Oh, I was always confident. You know, I always backed my team, but you know, it was great to win, and how good's daytime rugby?
It is, isn't it? And sunshine. Thank you very much. We're going to talk to Danny Richardson now. Danny, wow, what a game. You've stood up this season, haven't you, and to get that drop goal as well when it was really needed. But more than that, the touchline conversion.
Yeah, no, great atmosphere out here today. It's my first sort of real taste of a derby, and Good Friday as well, so I'm loving every minute of it. You know, there's no better than playing in front of all these good fans. So
that was going to be my next question. How does it feel to win a game like this in front of these fans on a derby day?
Oh, it's class, you know. It's the reason you play the game, to feel like this, but you know, we'll enjoy it obviously tonight and tomorrow, and then it's back to work for Monday. So
what was the point in the game in the second half where you thought, we've got this, we can turn this around? Was it the try?
Oh no, to be fair, when you're playing Wigan, you know, obviously I've come through the ranks playing Wigan, and you can never really think that you've won the game, because I think if you do, then that's when they sort of can come back and bite you. So you just got to play every minute, and towards the end, as soon as that whistle goes, that's it, I think, when you know when you've won it. So
well, you're a relative baby, but you're playing like a seasoned professional. You're enjoying your first proper full season as a starting player as well.
Yeah, loving it, you know, getting the starts and winning as well, so you know, I can't ask for much more.
Well, Saints fans can't either. Thank you very much for that. Cheers, Danny.
No worries, nice one.
We've got Joe Burgess with us. Joe, you worked your heart out, didn't you? Especially in that second half, but it just wasn't yours.
Nah, I think in the first half we gave ourselves too much to do. We really dominated them in the first 20 minutes, but the back end 20 minutes of the first half, too many penalties, and it was always there to get back into it.
You seemed to have more energy in the second half there when you came out and Joel scored that try. There was a belief and there was a feeling that you could get this.
Yeah, our forwards got enough from foot. We got that try and it gives a boost, but when I thought Sampel slotted the drop goal, but it was never to be.
There was that equalising penalty as well. The ball was stripped. How do you feel about that? You're being diplomatic.
Yeah, I'll keep my words to myself.
But I mean, disappointing to lose a big game like this, isn't it?
It always is, especially Good Friday. That's my first Good Friday I've lost, so it stings, but hey, it happens.
Thanks very much, Joe.
Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, the first Good Friday match is lost because Wigan had won the previous 8. That record now comes to a halt, courtesy of a superb St Helens performance and a 3-point win in the traditional Good Friday St Helens Wigan derby. Massive crowd, just under 18,000 here at the Totally Wicked Stadium, and they would have stayed till the very last minute as Wigan hit back late through Joel Tompkins and his second try. Well, we brought you the whole derby earlier on today, full-blooded affair, and I'm sure you have got 80 minutes of entertainment in that game as well. Half-time, Barry Terry, we had a 12-2 lead to St Helens. We're talking about how Wigan could find a way back into the game. They certainly found a way back into the game. First 2 tries of the second half.
It was a much changed Wigan attitude, wasn't it? They were running harder, getting through contact and really challenging Saints. It was Liam Farrell's fight that forced the whistle of the referee. George Williams started to get himself involved a little bit more. He had an outside option. He chose to go inside with Joel Tompkins. And he had a special afternoon, but I think we looked at some of his involvements. He did look a little bit tired, a little bit laboured. You see that? That's not the normal gait and stride of a speedster. But off the back of that, the field position,
well, he gets the ball
found himself in space, and he's almost falling over.
He finishes
he's
them,
that fatigued,
doesn't he? He finishes them.
And you're sensing that this is going Wigan's way. That sort of sense would be emphasised when you saw Willie Isa go over as well after some determined running by him.
Yeah, like Barry mentioned, that the forward seemed to run a lot harder. George Williams was taking on the line. Comes up with a great kick here, doesn't he, George Williams? All of a sudden it's game on.
14-12 to the visitors.
Yeah, and
this is the one, Terry. This is a penalty given against Sean O'Loughlin for a strip.
And then this ties the game up, doesn't it? And I said in commentary, you can't dwell on things that go against you, Brian. The one point that was tried to be slotted over by Sam Polly goes to the right-hand side of the post. But do you know what? I thought the referee controlled the passion of both sets of players as well. You've got to give him a big rap, because we talk about the skill of both teams here, and we sometimes forget what the referee does in his part to play, and this was a great spot.
The recall, Ryan Morgan breaking down on the right-hand side, Saints shifting right to left, and Regan Grace getting what ultimately proved to be the winning try.
You need to slow your mind down in situations like that. The team have just made a break, and the passes were right on the money, and what about that for a conversion? He's had a good involvement all afternoon, Danny Richardson. Ben Barber, no doubt, was just that little bit of sprinkle of stardust, but Danny Richardson, I was watching his involvements in the game. He's not a Saints lad, he's born in Widnes, so he's not grown up watching this thinking, I'm going to be involved in that one day, but when he got his opportunity, my word, he stepped up.
And I thought he was very good in the game as well, Joel Tompkins, since his introduction from the bench. But that try, the final try, Brian, that Saints scored, they played what was in front of them. They noticed that, I think it was Ryan Sutton, Thomas Luluai, couldn't get back. Wigan players were jamming in, trying to close the play down, and it was just the nice, accurate passes, the speed that they had on the edges, and what a derby.
Well, what a derby. Let's get the thoughts of the Wigan Warriors coach, the vanquished coach of the Warriors. Sean Wayne is with Angela right now.
Sean, it's your first great Good Friday derby loss against St Helens, and you must be hurting. I know you must be.
Yeah, I probably can't put it into words how I feel. Gutted for the players. I thought their effort was good, just a bit dumb in places. Too many penalties, discipline cost us. I thought the second quarter of the game, we lost too many tackles, we lost too many play the balls, and that's what cost us in the end. Took a lot of G-shirt to us, but I'm proud of the efforts. You know, we lost Sam and Morgan come off, and we lost Lockers, and it was all over the place positionally, but the young game there, and they showed me some effort.
There was, on 72 minutes, a penalty that went to Saints to tie the game for stripping. Your thoughts on that one?
That wasn't the reason we lost the game, and he had a good game, Robert, and we had enough players on the field there to win that game, and we didn't do it, so the best team won today, but I'm proud of my players' efforts, and we'll dust ourselves down and get stuck into OKR on Monday.
The second half you came out with lots of energy and really took the game to St Helens.
Angela, we were 12-2 down in Wigan and Saints derby, and we come back from that, so we showed a lot of fire and spirit, and that's something I'll never doubt in my players. I'm so proud. You know, we're all mates, but we hammer each other. We want to get better and improve, and they're all speaking very honestly in there, and they're really, really hurting. Like, I can't tell you, because we don't want to lose this game, but we've won 8 of them, and they've got one. Let them celebrate it.
And as you say, they never gave up. Right in the last minute as well, score that try, and that's the thing about Wigan.
No, hopefully the teams what we coach, they won't give in, but you know, we need to be better. You can't give penalties away against good teams like St Helens. The attacking threats they've got is just ask too many questions, and in the end they got us. Thanks, Angela. Thank you.
Yeah, Sean Wayne laying the blame for defeat at nobody's feet but his own and his side's, not dragging the referee into any sort of talk about being responsible for the defeat. Look, it's 2 competition points in the Betfred Super League for St Helens. It's just a missed opportunity to get 2 for Wigan on the outer. But Barry, having played in derby matches yourself, and Terry, you haven't played in Wigan St Helens derby matches, you probably did in your short career as well. You know that it means more than 2 points, and it's more than just 2 points lost.
It does, but it's about context as well, and players are really good at getting that baggage, if you like, putting it to one side and thinking, right now, next thing, what's the next thing? So they've got Monday, and then they've got a game the following. So it's not just that game. It's not just the difficulty of getting yourself back up on Monday. It's then backing up on the following week as well. So 3 games in 9 or 10 days.
I'll tell you, I've been in a changing room after losing Saints. That's ammunition for the next month. Do you know what I mean? You've lost 2 valuable points, but you've not just lost 2 valuable league points. You've lost in a derby game. Like, that really, really hurts you in the changing room. I'm sure there'll be a lot of honest players in there. There'll be Saints players celebrating, and rightly so. And you've got to credit Sean Wayne as well for saying that Robert Hicks didn't lose the game. Robert Hicks had a very good game, the referee. Saints were just too good. When they needed that X factor, they had that X factor.
Because I want to talk to you about Danny Richardson, his first derby match. This is an exceptional talent.
Brian, I've watched him since he's a kid growing up. Holton Farmer Hornets, where he played. He is a tremendous athlete. He's always had a swagger on him. He's always known that he can play the game. He's always played like that. He's a phenomenal talent, and as I say, I'm made up that Justin Holbrook has given him the opportunity, stuck by the youngster. He only made his debut in round 1 last year, but hasn't he progressed?
It sounds like you said giving yourself credit for the development of Danny Richardson. Okay. All right, let's wrap up the rest of the matches in the Betfred, round 8 of the Betfred Super League. First game to start was Salford against Catalan Dragons. Turned out to be an easy win in the end for Salford. Steve McNamara, the pressure was heaped on him. You can see his side in action on Easter Monday against Huddersfield. Hull Kingston Rovers went down to Hull FC 30 points to 22. Hull FC down to 12 men for 70 minutes of that match and still managed to work out a win. First draw of the season in Super League came over at the John Smith Stadium. Chris Thorman in temporary charge of the Huddersfield Giants. His side have drawn 22-all with the Leeds Rhinos, and Warrington have won 32-18 against Widnes. Widnes led 10-0. Warrington fought back, and in the second half in particular, they had 2 tries from their new signing, Josh Charnley. This is the first of the second half. 12-10 to Widnes at half-time. Ball allowed to bounce by the Widnes Vikings. We have seen that before. Shifted left to right and Josh Charnley finishes. We know he's a very competent finisher. That was followed by a Sitaleki Aquala try, 22-12, and then Josh Charnley hit again in that right-hand corner. Kevin Brown scraping or squeezing a ball out, and Stephen Ratchford was really good last week, getting it over to Josh Charnley. That made it 26-12. Ben Westwood scored 32-12, and then Reece Hamby, a late reply for the Widnes Vikings. Here's the table. First and second stay where they are, but there's now a 4-point gap between St Helens and the Wigan Warriors. And Warrington, interestingly, climbing slowly up now, just level with the Wigan Warriors, 4 points behind St Helens. Okay, coming up next on main event, well, follow that, Middlesbrough and Wolves. We've had tremendous excitement in the St Helens Wigan Good Friday derby, and coming up next for everybody on Sky Sports main event will be Middlesbrough and Wolves. And a reminder what we have for you on Easter Monday. It is a double header. Okay, St Helens, Ben Barber, Danny Richardson will take this win and bring it over to the Widnes Vikings, who, had a good start to that game against Warrington Wolves. 3 p.m. start for that one on Sky Sports Arena and Sky Sports main event. And this promises to be an intriguing match. The Huddersfield Giants, now having drawn with the Leeds Rhinos in Chris Thorman's first match in temporary charge, go to the south of France to take on Steve McNamara's Catalan Dragons, who've had just the single win in 2018. There is no hiding. At 5:10 on Sky Sports Arena, the pressure will be on the Catalan Dragons and Steve McNamara. Happy Easter to you all. Thanks very much to Terry O'Connor and Barry McDermott. Congratulations to St Helens. You've snapped that losing Good Friday run.
Roby gives a short pass for Owen. This is Williams, back it comes to Tompkins. The fight back just might be gaining a little momentum. Chance for Isa, try for Isa. Lomax long to Regan Grace. Regan Grace in the corner for St Helens.
Sky Sports Arena. Feel it all.
Just looking to pass, earn the right to play, go forward.
Gale to Hardacre. Hardacre to Minikin. Wide to Eden. 31 for the season.
Sir Jeremy, you are a true friend of the Crown. Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
Madam Susan, you are an even truer friend of the Crown. Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
What is that?
This is a spiced honey mead wine that I have really been into lately.